Thank you, Arlene, and welcome everyone. Today I'm going to share with you some insights, tips, and tools that will help maximize your social media outreach, develop your brand, and increase your SEO. Truthfully, it can be a little daunting to figure out where to begin and what to post on what social media platform. But rest assured, what I will share in the next few minutes will get you on your way. So let's begin. This by far is my favorite infographic ever. It perfectly captures most of the popular social media platforms. Essentially, we already practice everything social media does. Social media just makes it easier for us, and we can reach our full potential. And its reach is exponential. Today we will focus on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook is just like your old address book. Everyone you know from all periods of your life are in this book. Then we have Twitter, and Twitter is more like post-it notes, short, simple messages, right to the point. And then we have Instagram. Instagram is the very best picture that captures your message. So why are we focusing on these three platforms? Well, the numbers. If you see Facebook users, Instagram users, Twitter users, we're in the millions and billions. And smartphone users check their accounts at least 5 times a day. 200 million active users are uploading 20 billion photos every day. And 48% of Americans said that they found out their news through Facebook. So that's where the people are. So before we get into the logistics of creating a solid social media account, let's just go over some of the basics. On all the platforms, the messages we share are called the post. The feed is the list of the accounts that we follow, and the handle is the name of your account. A tag is using a company's handle to credit them, and a hashtag is a # followed by a word that will allow other users to find your message. So here we have a Facebook post and a Twitter feed. On this Facebook post, you'll see that here is our handle. Here is a hashtag. Here is a tag, and you'll often notice the tags are in bold. Here on Twitter, we have a sustainable Jersey post that was shared by Jersey Fresh. And here along is the entire feed of all the people that we follow. And right here is our handle for KMM. So handles between all of our social media accounts should be consistent to the best of our ability. That makes you easy to find, tag, and share across all the platforms. But the trick is Twitter. Twitter only allows you 15 characters. So you'll see here on our Facebook account, we have Keep Middlesex Moving. We were able to use the entire name. Same here with Instagram. But when we got over to Twitter, we couldn't create it because it didn't have enough characters. And then we tried KMM at TMA. We tried all different variations, and most of them were taken. So we kind of worked it out with Middlesex Commuter and dropped the U in commuter, or the O in commuter. So why use social media? It's estimated that in 2021, there will be about 5.1 billion social media users around the globe. So it's safe to say that most of the people you would like to reach are on one or some of the platforms. So let's use social media to engage, reach, and create content. At its core, social media engagement is whenever someone interacts with your social media account. It comes in the forms of metrics such as likes, follows, shares, comments, retweets, and click-throughs. And these metrics are crucial for measuring the effectiveness of your social media campaign. Here are some examples to engage people. You have share relevant news. You can ask your target audience a question. You can incorporate some sense of humor. You can do cross-posting, which is essentially sharing. And then you can share curated content, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So what's an effective message? This is a post that I created for Downtown Hightstown. In every post and on every platform, you want to make sure that you can maximize your engagement. So on this post, you want to have a call to action. In this example, we've got make dining reservations, shop in the shops as stores begin to open. If possible, you want to tag some fellow businesses, and that will help expand your reach. And then you want to use some hashtags, Hightstown, New Jersey small businesses, New Jersey eats, best places to live. These are essentially words that if someone were to type in a Google search, depending on where they are, this post will appear in their feed. And then you also want to be human. That will enhance your brand. Here you'll see, together we flatten the curve. Together we continue to keep each other safe. That allows users to feel connected with you and makes you trustworthy. And as you can see by the metrics over here, over 2,000 people were reached. 264 people were engaged with the post. There were 15 shares and 100 likes. So all in all, the post was very effective. So social media reach is as effective as the content that you share and the manner in which you share it. If you take a look at this graphic, the graphic explains the metrics we talked about on the previous page. One post properly shared and put together is far more reaching than just one basic post. So what you want to do is you want to follow and build your relationships. You want to make the content shareable, and you want people to interact, engage, and participate. You need good content. You want to create content that adds values and benefits your audience in some way. For example, sharing a blog about something you become the expert in is ways that you can share multiple content multiple times. And people also love to learn and connect with an image. Educating them on your brand gives them bragging rights, which is essentially what you want. People bragging equals people talking and sharing and resharing your content. So how is this done? Unique photos, articles, blog posts, videos are just a few ways that you can make people to stop scroll and to say, wow. So here are some examples of posts that KMM has created that are rich in content. Here we have video. You always want to keep your video under 60 seconds, and we use promo video to create this. Just going to play a little bit of it. This was about Bike Month. Normally in May, we encourage commuters to bike to work. Well, that wasn't happening this year. So we had to recreate the program, and what we did was we just allowed people to bike anywhere and everywhere, and we encouraged them to let us know and that we would donate food in their name. Oops, went back too fast. So this video was shared exponentially. We also have some blogs. Here you'll see that you want to blog at least once a week, and that will help increase your website visit, establish you as a credible source by the Google gods, and also give content for all of your platforms. You'll see that we tagged social distancing, we tagged flatten the curve, and then we also used video in that post. And then we have photos. Photos are all about the visuals, obviously. So aside from using your own photos or a photo that someone sends you, there are many websites that provide free photos. And Julia will explain more of that later. And one thing you want to remember is that you want to make sure that the content is shareable on all forms of platforms. All three examples were shared multiple times on multiple platforms and reshared many times by others. And then most importantly, you want to be aware of the current climate and pulse of society. You don't want to be tone deaf, which unfortunately is an issue these days. So here is a Norwegian cruise line ad. The post was shared in March, April, and it's a great photo, happy divers, gorgeous blue water. Who wouldn't want to just dive in and enjoy traveling to this spot? Well, this post hit during the start of the pandemic when cruise ships were stuck out at sea. No one wants to be on a cruise where the only thing people would be doing is diving into a pool of coronavirus. So needless to say, this post went viral, but for all the wrong reasons. So you want to be sensitive of political issues. I always suggest walk away from the post before you hit publish. Give it a minute or two. And then always check and double check the photos and videos that you're posting. Make sure that the seasons match the topic you're talking about, and make sure that the photo won't be interpreted poorly. The more you check, the better off you'll be. So in order to keep your followers engaged, it's best to post at least 4 to 6 times a week and once or twice a day. Remember, you can use the same content on the same platforms for different days and different times. And there are many tools that you can use to schedule this. But if you're managing an account just for one company in your own company, it's my recommendation to just post it manually. Doing it manually helps you avoid any tone deaf-like issues and gives you more control over engagement. For example, I had a post, a video, a blog, a photo, all this content ready to go with about biking outdoors, and the outside is open theme. We encouraged everyone to go to the parks, to ride their bikes, to hike, to have a great time. It was all ready to go, and then the governor closed the parks the day I was going to post this. So needless to say, I didn't use it. I had to scrap all of that content. I ended up using it later for a different, well, once the parks were open, but at a minute's notice, you have to just be ready to stop something. So you want to carve out a few hours each week to plan and curate your content. And when you're doing that, 75% of it should be your own and 25% should be about other people. Your accounts shouldn't be all about you. In order to provide quality, well-rounded content, you really need to share other people's content. And then if you ever get stuck and can't decide on what to post or not sure what to do, I always recommend go online and Google on this day calendar. They'll give you ideas of things that are going on. Like today's National Pencil Day and tomorrow's National Pizza Day. It may not be applicable to your subject matter, but it may trigger an idea of something that you can post. Remember to tag anyone of importance. Always be ready for change and record every post. You want to use an Excel sheet, maybe a Word document, even pen and paper. But what's most important is that you record it because you want to be able to go back later and see what works and what doesn't work. So I know that we have a few municipalities on this webinar, and I wanted to show how this can work for you. Municipalities follow the Open Public Records Act. OPRA is a state law enacted to give the public greater access to government records maintained by the agencies in New Jersey. Therefore, anything that you post on any social media falls under this OPRA law. So how do you navigate this? My suggestion is to just keep it simple. What you would share in an email blast or what you would share on your website is content that you can share on social media. So I'm using this example of Metuchen. They really have got this down to a science. You can see here they shared a picture of a council meeting that they were having. In another post, they shared stuff about their summer recreation sports camp. They also shared a project that they've been working on with pedestrian safety and crosswalks. And they even have a really fun one of brushes with celebrities. In, I think, February, Paul McCartney came to Metuchen to have breakfast, and it was all over social media for days. So it's really important to be responsive, and that will help you gain followers and gain engagement. It can be exhausting, especially in times like these, but it's the way of social media, and I think it'll always be like that. So if you carve out a few hours each week to create your content, practice checking all of your feeds at that time as well. You want to do it at least twice a day. You can also keep on top of the interaction by having the platforms notify you via email when someone posts, comments, or likes. That allows you to reshare a post. It allows you to make sure that you have a handle on your accounts. And it also will allow you to see any negative comments that come in. And one important thing you must remember is you never, ever delete a negative comment. You must address it. And the reason why you don't want to delete it is because there could be a chance that someone has screenshotted that negative comment, and then if you were to delete it, it would show that you didn't want to address it, and then that kind of shows a lack of transparency, and that's never good for a social media account. So how are you going to maximize your outreach? First, you want to start with a clear goal. What is the objective of that particular post? Is it to bring awareness to a particular program, inform followers about a new idea? Is it to register for an event you are hosting? All of these questions will help you determine your goal. And then you always want to focus on enhancing your relationship with your followers. So when a fellow business or a follower tags you on their post or shares information, you always want to publicly thank them and respond to them. And then when you're sharing their info, you want to tag them as well. And obviously respond to all followers and comments. You want to engage with them. You want to connect with them. That really builds your brand. Then you want to find the platforms that your potential audiences can be on. So Facebook folks are different than Twitter folks, and they're different from Instagram. Sure, most people are on all three platforms, but how they engage on each of those platforms is very different. So this brings us back to that first graphic that we talked about, ancient networking. For example, on Twitter, you have 280 characters to post. You have to be engaging, you have to be clever, and you have to do it in way less words than you do Facebook and Instagram. But then on Instagram, it doesn't really matter so much what you say. It's got to be really a great photo that stops the person from scrolling, and then they read the caption. And then you have Facebook, kind of the best of both. You can say as much as you'd like, and then you can post as many beautiful pictures as you like. So there you have one message expressed 3 different ways. And then there's hashtags. You want to make sure there's a hashtag in every post because they're king. If if you are going to create a post, you want to think, what is the main subject of that post? That actually is your first hashtag. And then you want to add a few more that complement it. And then measure, measure, measure. I cannot stress how important it is to measure. Each platform provides analytics for you already. Just check them, review them. In a few weeks, you'll have a clear understanding of what followers are interested in and what they're not interested in. And they'll give you just a better idea of what to create for the coming weeks. So before I hand this over to Julia, here's just a quick checklist. Make sure everyone knows that you're on social media. Make sure your links are on your website, on your blog, in the signature of your email and of all of your employees, on every email blast that you send, on every printed material, in the ads that you have in newspapers or other websites. Make sure that they know that you're social and that they can connect with you on any of those platforms. Then you also want to spend time looking for articles that are relevant to your readers. This curates the content that will allow you to become the expert in your field. You also want to encourage your employees to share your posts. If it's something that's applicable to them and something that they believe in, having them share it just gives you a greater reach than if you were just to share it alone. And absolutely monitor your competitors. See what they're sharing. What hashtags are they using? This is a great way to keep a pulse on what's relevant in your industry. Set goals, and then always keep track of your insights. The insights are the key to building your following, to building your reach, and really to build your SEO. And then my last piece of advice is to be human. Your social media accounts are a reflection of your organization. It's who you are, it's what they mean. They are your brand. They are the direct connection to your greatest fans. So really make the most of that connection and have a great time with social media. If you need to reach me, my information is on the KMM website at kmm.org, or you can email me at cfowler@kmm.org, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you so much.